university is in the condom business, and business is good, maybe too good. We'll tell you why. And it's been the home to great games, but we may be saying goodbye to the Dean Dome. No kidding, it's still a big maybe right now. And this is the guy who's charged with breaking into Granville dorm rooms and jumping into bed with residents. We have the latest. All that and more, Carolina Week starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
Some things you may not know. Did you know the university is in the condom business? Did you know that you were paying for it? Well, it is, and you are. And as Madison Way reports, business is very good, maybe too good.
Passionate about getting the word out about safe sex, even to the students who don't feel comfortable talking about it.
People are not comfortable with it yet, and they should be. If they're having sex, they need to be comfortable talking about how to be safe about it.
Connor says part of that is making sure students get condoms in a way that's discreet and makes them feel comfortable.
I'm sure like some people are too nervous to buy them at the store too, because you don't want to bring up the condoms, and it's kind of embarrassing, I guess, for some people. So we want everyone who needed them to have access to them.
Free condoms!
Some give away condoms in the quad, but Campus Health Services game plan wrapped around the whole campus. Last April, UNC installed condom dispensers in bathrooms in the Union, SRC, and Rams. The project costs about $1,200 and used funds already allocated to the university's attempt to encourage safe sex. But did students even notice the new bins?
No, I haven't noticed the condom dispensers.
No, I haven't noticed the condom dispensers.
I have not, actually. This is the first time I've heard of that.
And even the ones who noticed also noticed a problem with the program.
I saw them twice. The one time was full, and then the time after that, there weren't any left.
UNC anticipated that and provides a phone number students can text when they spot an empty bin. The men's and women's restrooms at the student union were both out of condoms, so I decided to text the number to see what would happen. 24 hours later, the bin still hadn't been refilled. I checked 8 more locations to see if that was the norm. Only one dispenser actually contained condoms. One SRC employee even said he's been working at the gym all semester and he's never seen those dispensers filled. But Maggie Connor says just expanding how the university distributes condoms is a step in the right sexual health direction.
I hope people just get more comfortable with it, and it needs to not be a stigmatized thing, because the stigma is really creating a negative impact on health.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Madison Way.
There are 12 condom dispensers on campus, and so far, students have grabbed up about 20,000 condoms. Though we only found one dispenser containing condoms, a representative from UNC Health Services says the dispensers are refilled weekly and bi-weekly. And an update tonight concerning the UNC football scandal. University officials sent letters of disassociation to 3 former players. They are Marvin Austin, Greg Little, and Robert Quinn. So what does that mean? The players can no longer contact current UNC athletes or access Kenan Stadium or other campus athletic facilities. Well, here's a shocker. University officials confirmed today that they are considering replacing the Dean Dome. You heard me right, replacing it, or making major renovations. Allie Massione is standing by live outside the Dean Dome. Allie, wow, could they really replace the Dean Dome?
That's right, Landon. I'm here outside of the Dean E. Smith Center where the men's basketball team currently plays, but that could all change. It's all preliminary right now, but athletic department officials say they're talking about major renovations or even replacing the Smith Center. Sounds like it's all about luxury suites and club seating, such features that could add a lot of revenue. Athletic Director Bubba Cunningham says such renovations could pose a number of challenges. He's not sure they have enough room to add those luxury suites. That's why replacing the facility is under consideration. No word yet on how much all this might cost, but officials say no matter what, any renovation would not interfere with basketball season. The Dean Dome was completed in 1986. That makes the Dean Dome only 27 years old, Landon. Not all that old, but not necessarily constructed for the new ways of making money. Back to you, Landon.
That's Allie Massione reporting live from outside the Dean Dome. Thanks, Allie. Speaking of Dean Dome, legendary Tar Heels coach Dean Smith is the recipient of a big honor, the Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. He wasn't able to attend the ceremony with President Obama, but Coach Roy Williams was there to represent him. The Medal of Freedom is presented to people who have made contributions to our society. The president presented 15 others with the award, including Bill Clinton and Oprah Winfrey. How would you like to be in your dorm room late at night, all tucked in, and then all of a sudden somebody jumps in bed with you? Well, it happened to some students at Granville Towers, and the culprit in this case, identified as a UNC student, is in hot water. Stephanie Lopez has the story.
UNC student Jessica Huntley says she was enjoying a typical Saturday night with friends when somebody she didn't recognize opened the door to her room.
He was actually in the lobby being arrested by about 5 or 6 police officers, and we recognized his face and who he was, and we were like, he must have done something that's really scary because he was in our room at some point.
Huntley's room was just one of the rooms Colin Livingston Williams is accused of entering last weekend. 20-year-old Williams is a Carolina student. He was arrested after entering the unlocked rooms of at least 2 female students and climbing into bed with them. Huntley says that although he didn't climb into her bed, the experience still left her uneasy.
I don't know what state of mind he was in or what he was thinking or feeling, but it's just scary that like someone we can relate to maybe would do something like that.
Williams was asked to leave and did so. Granville Towers general manager Kelly Stasko told us Williams didn't break into the building.
The student who entered into the rooms was a guest of another resident here and was disoriented and really I don't believe knew quite where he was.
Stasko says the only way to prevent unwanted intruders from entering your private space is to lock your doors, something Huntley says she'll make sure to do. In Chapel Hill, I'm Stephanie Lopez.
Williams is out of the Orange County Jail on bond. And we've been reporting all semester about the case of David Shannon, the UNC freshman who fell to his death just more than a year ago. Carrboro police continue their investigation and say that they need help. So what's the university doing? Officials say they're doing as much as they can. The Carrboro police believes there are people who know what happened to David Shannon.
There are people right now at UNC that have that information, that know for sure what happened. And that would clear it up, but they're just not coming forward.
Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs Winston Crisp wants to help ATAC and says,
I don't know how to judge that. I do know that we will, as a university, continue to support Carrboro in their investigation as they try to find out what happened. And as those facts become apparent, we'll act accordingly.
The freshman fell to his death at Ready Mix Concrete Plant in Carrboro after a pregame. But why did he go there, and how did he get there? ATAC is frustrated by what he calls the wall of silence surrounding these nagging questions.
What are these people about? Because they're not about coming to the truth. They're about something else. They're protecting themselves, protecting organizations.
Director of Greek Life, Aaron Bockenheimer, says the university is trying to help, but there are limits.
We've done everything we can do within the boundaries of our ability and the reality that there's an ongoing investigation.
So what are those boundaries? Department of Public Safety Officer Randy Young says,
this was Carrboro's investigation, so we didn't contribute other than just basic assistance.
If the university officials are worried about interfering with the Carrboro Police's investigation, how can they help ATAC find the answers? Shannon was a pledge at the Chi Phi fraternity, and with that in mind, ATAC says investigators can't rule out hazing as a possible cause of death. Carrboro police think hazing may have had something to do with Shannon's death, and the university has policies against hazing, and for that matter, it's against state law. The case is raising other questions as well. As we mentioned, Shannon was a first-semester freshman pledging Chi Phi. The university has, from time to time, considered whether to make students wait until their second-semester freshman year to pledge. Reporter Delia D'Ambra takes a look at the pros and the cons.
333 new members joined Interfraternity Council chapters at UNC this semester. The 8-week fraternity rush process begins each year just 3.5 weeks into classes. Director of Sorority and Fraternity Life, Aaron Bockenheimer, feels those weeks are beneficial.
They need to get to campus. They need to figure out where their classes are. They need to have an opportunity to go to Fall Fest and see what other clubs and organizations are out there.
At Duke University, recruitment isn't allowed until the spring semester. Director of Greek Life, Claribel Piguero, agrees time to adjust is necessary.
What we do enjoy is watching the sense of belonging that our freshmen have that first semester and really making that connection within their residence halls, within their floors, within their classes.
There is another important factor Duke considers in their reasoning for deferred recruiting.
We believe that having a set GPA also allows our students to develop their academic style.
IFC and Panhellenic councils at UNC specifically target first-year, first-semester students. Bockenheimer knows this isn't uncommon.
It's unusual, though, for an IFC group or a Panhellenic group to go, never mind, we're not going to take students first year.
At Duke, they choose to do just that and aren't seeing any fallout.
Our numbers continue to rise every year, so we know that not recruiting our first semester doesn't mean that we won't get the same amount of people interested in the spring.
Most major IFC chapters at UNC have private established houses located off campus. At Duke, things are a little different.
We integrate our Greek students and our organizations within the house model that we have here at Duke, and so they live within the residence halls.
And even though changes like that have been considered at UNC, the decision remains the same.
Up to this point at Carolina, we have determined that the best model for us is allowing organizations to recruit first-year, first-semester students.
Reporting, I'm Delia D'Ambra.
NC State, UNC Wilmington, and ECU all have fall semester recruiting like UNC. A conservative think tank doesn't think much of some of the courses outlined in these pages here at UNC. We'll tell you why. And she wants to do more of this rather than just filling in the blank. We'll tell you what that's all about coming up.
Be sure to check out Carolina Week online at carolinaweek.org. Connect with us online by liking the Carolina Week Facebook page and following us on Twitter at Carolina Week UNC.
Hey, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing on trying to get you out of there.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
A conservative think tank based in Raleigh is saying UNC's undergraduate course curriculum is incoherent and narrow. It is recommending some significant changes, and reporter Kiara Palmer has that story.
4,700 classes are available to a UNC student. Courses range from the gardens, shrines, and temples of Japan to folk revival, the singing left in the mid-20th century America. Carolina students can take any of these courses to fulfill their curiosity or general education requirement. But officials with the Pope Center for Higher Education Policy say that's a problem. Report co-writer Jenna Robinson says some of the courses shouldn't be considered general education.
What we discovered was that the curriculum as written was really confusing and often had a lot of courses that were really too narrow for what you would think of as a general education.
With that, the Pope Center issued 5 recommendations it believes would enhance the UNC general education requirement. First, it would eliminate courses that required prerequisites. Then it would also eliminate courses based on limited time periods and geographical regions. Third, students couldn't take courses that satisfied more than one requirement. It would also reduce the foreign language requirement to just 2 years instead of 3. And lastly, it would add an additional quantitative reasoning course.
I don't think it takes anything away from students learning about cultures or about liberal arts. It just gives them a broader place to start from.
But UNC Provost James Dean disagrees and believes the current curriculum is why students choose Carolina.
One of the reasons that people come to a comprehensive university like UNC is that we're able to offer things that other universities don't offer. liberal arts colleges could never dream about the diversity of courses that we offer.
Dean has invited the Pope Center to UNC, hoping officials might have a change of heart after seeing the courses in action.
I do think that if they were to come here and they were actually to sit in some of these courses, they'd feel a lot differently about them. And if they talk to the faculty who are doing the curriculum planning, I think, again, they'd feel a lot differently.
Dean says though he's looked at the report, he doesn't see the UNC curriculum changing anytime soon. Reporting in Chapel Hill, I'm Kiara Palmer.
That think tank isn't alone in questioning what we learn here at the university. The Romance Language Department is coming under fire from one student. Ashley Dolan reports on why in some classes in Spanish, students are left filling in the blank.
Meredith Allen isn't speaking in her native tongue, and that's the point. She wants to learn all she can with her minor in Spanish for the professions. But before Allen heads to Spain next semester to study abroad, she has a few concerns.
Without, this knowledge of how to write and how to, proudly speak in Spanish, that, I may have a communication barrier.
Her worries come from her experience in her Spanish classes at UNC, specifically the testing. In a recent letter to the editor to the Daily Tar Heel, she expressed her frustration over fill-in-the-blank testing.
These fill-in-the-blank tests that they're giving us aren't, making us be creative.
Andrew Habercorn holds a minor in Spanish for the professions and decided to write a response.
I got a wide range of experiences and teaching styles.
Some Spanish professors share this sentiment, seeing Allen's letter as a misrepresentation of the classes. For Habercorn, this type of testing is the basis to learning a language.
You got to learn the vocab and the grammar first before you can go out in the community and be able to interact.
But Allen hopes professors will see her letter and consider testing in ways that challenge students on how to write and speak the language.
Maybe doing tests where we have to do a lot more writing is going to make us use that language.
Allowing students in Dye Hall to creatively express themselves as they learn a new language. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ashley Dolan.
UNC students have never had to pay sales tax in the dining hall, but they will soon. Starting January 1st, meal plans, flex accounts, and expense accounts will be subject to a 7.5% sales tax. Prices for meal plans next semester will be adjusted to include these taxes, and the taxes on the flex and expense accounts will be added at the register. Current meal plan holders still have the option to change their meal plans for 2014 until January 14th. The state legislature passed a bill making the change last summer. And there's a new technology buzz around campus, and it could start helping those with disabilities, all thanks to one student. Last spring, sophomore Pranati Pranaganti became one of the first people to use Google Glass. She was awarded a personal pair of the new computerized glasses after winning a contest. Google Glass has a small screen on one of the lenses that allows the users to interact hands-free with its built-in smartphone. Pranaganti then started Carolina Glass Explorers Club on campus, dedicated to exploring the device's possibilities and figuring out how they can help disabled students. She and her fellow explorers meet every Sunday night and work on programming for apps that might assist with hearing, sight, and even lecture analysis. Well, the cold finally came, but is it here to stay? Katie McGee is up with your weather next.
Adopting a new pet is a rewarding experience. And shelter pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 4, 3, 2, 1, now stop. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Good evening, I'm meteorologist Katie McGee, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Here we are wondering which weather extreme we're going to have next. Just to remind you where we've been so far this month, we usually see average highs around the low 60s and average lows in the low 40s. But this month so far, we had 71 on Wednesday the 6th. And 6 days, less than a week after that, we saw snow. And less than a week after that, we were back up to 75. And here we are 20th on Wednesday, wondering just what's going to happen next. Well, I can tell you for the next couple of hours, 8 p.m. tonight, it's going to get pretty chilly, 43, partly cloudy skies. You're going to grab a jacket if you're heading out for one of those last-minute exams professors love to give you before finals. And then for those chilly 8 a.m. classes, we're going to be at 41, only warming up to 52 by lunchtime with partly cloudy skies. And you can see those clouds on our satellite image to our west with mostly clear skies along a majority of the eastern seaboard. And for that, we have to thank this high pressure system to our north. Now, high pressure systems have a clockwise flow of winds around them, and that's going to bring down that cool Canadian air, which is why we had such a big cool down earlier this week from that temperature of 75. Now that high pressure system is since going to move offshore, allowing temperatures to warm up a little more later on this week, but sadly that is just not going to last. To our west, we have another lurking cold front, and ahead of that, rain. So as that moves through, it's expected to arrive this weekend, bringing a day of rain and then a very big cool down in temperatures. Just for tonight, though, we can see that northeasterly wind, thanks to that high pressure system, making that low of 37 feel that much chillier. So if you are heading out for a late dinner or out to study, grab your jackets. You're going to need it tomorrow as well. Temperatures a lot like we saw today in the mid-50s with a light breeze and partly cloudy skies. Now, looking ahead to this weekend, as that cold front makes its way for us, we'll still see warmer temperatures as it warms up from 55 on through the rest of the week, tailgating the benefits of a noon game. We're going to see our high of 63 just after the game, but that rain is expected to increase throughout the day. So if you're heading out, while you won't need a jacket for warmth, you will need it for rain. Grab your umbrella too as we take on Old Dominion at noon. Kickoff, we're expecting it to be around 60. And sadly, after that, that cold front is going to take effect. We see a huge cool down. Look at that. 20 degrees, over 20 degrees in 24 hours with our only chance for rain on Saturday. And sadly, look at Sunday night. We're going to get down to 22, Landon. Perfect peacoat weather for me, at least.
I think it's safe to say winter has arrived.
It is. Oh, it's terrible. Well, I don't know. I guess if you're more of a cold person, I love summer personally.
All right. Thanks so much for that, Katie.
Thank you.
There's a lot on the line when Carolina meets Duke on the gridiron next week, including painting this bell. We'll tell you all about it coming up.
Training is about more than muscle. It's about inner strength. So I push myself. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. I train with the best, a team that shares my drive and commitment. We collect intelligence, guard our shores against drug smugglers, and keep our waterways safe, because our nation expects more.
If you expect more, maybe you were born ready. Find out at gocoastguard.com.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Nicole Comparado. Ugly. That's what then number 12 UNC basketball looked like this weekend, especially in Sunday night's shocking loss to Belmont. There was a miss after miss after miss from the free throw line. UNC up by 1 with just seconds left in the game. Belmont's J.J. Mann drained this three-pointer to give them the lead. Then a frantic J.P. Tokoto tries to recover but doesn't. The Heels lost their first non-conference game in the Dean Dome since 2005. They'll continue the Hall of Fame tip-off tournament in Connecticut against Richmond this Saturday at noon. Based on that Belmont game, it seems unlikely for the men's basketball team to make it to the Final Four just right now, but one UNC team will. The number 3 women's field hockey team will be going thanks to a 5-3 victory over number 13 Wake Forest. The team faces number 7 Connecticut Friday night in hopes of making it to Sunday's championship game in Norfolk. Speaking of victories, how about UNC football? Freshman wide receiver Ryan Switzer was the star of Saturday's football win against Pitt, with not 1 but 2 punt returns for touchdowns. Check this out right here. He maneuvers his way through the defenders, and just look at those quick feet. Can't catch him. Look at this one on the second touchdown of the game. This ends up being the game winner for the Heels. Though it appears like it's his speed, he says something else helps him run those into the house.
You know, I was blessed with good vision, you know, ever since I started playing football, and it just carried over, you know.
Switzer and the Heels return to Keenan Saturday afternoon to face Old Dominion. But UNC can still finish 7-5. Can you believe it? And as the Heels look ahead to their last 2 games, revenge is certainly on their minds. When Carolina fell to arch-rival Duke last year in a devastating 33-30 loss, they lost more than just a game. Allie Massione has the story.
Remember this touchdown last year? That catch by Duke's Jamison Crowder not only cost the Heels the game, but also cost them the prized victory bell.
I just remember all their players running out on the field, taking the bell from outside and just ringing the crap out of it. It was a terrible feeling.
A feeling sophomore wide receiver Quinshaw Davis says he'd never forget. The tradition of the victory bell dates back to 1948 when 2 cheerleaders, Loring Jones of Duke and Norman Spear of UNC, teamed up to create the traveling trophy. Sports Information Director Emeritus Rick Brewer said Loring came up with the design.
And the bell was obtained by Spear from the engine of a railroad.
Of the 64 games played since the introduction of the bell, Carolina leads with 40 wins, while Duke has recorded only 21 victories. The teams tied once in 1975, and UNC vacated 2 wins in 2008 and 2009. So what does it mean to win the victory bell? As the tradition goes, cheerleaders from the winning school lead the team onto the field riding the bell. It's rung throughout the game when the team scores, and more recently it's become tradition to spray paint the bell the winning shade of blue when stolen from the opposing team. After last year's loss and with a bowl game on the line for the Heels, UNC alumnus Hank Ralston says winning back the victory bell matters more than ever.
Oh yeah, it's not good to have them have it. I don't like it painted dark blue. You know, we need to get it back, paint it Carolina blue and keep it on our side.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Allie Massione.
Landon, can you believe that Duke is 8-2 right now? It's crazy, right?
No, and enough about Duke blue. Can we talk about Carolina blue? Can we be bowling in December?
As long as they win 1 more game. So they got Old Dominion Saturday, then Duke next week. We'll see.
All right, well, we wish them luck. Go Heels.
All right, thanks,
Thanks,
Landon.
Nicole. Why were they releasing balloons on campus last night? We have the story coming up.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
The UNC community found a new way to celebrate the lives of students who have passed away in the last year. Friends and family members gathered on the lawn in front of Moorhead Planetarium yesterday. They wrote notes to students and tied them to the balloons like you see here, which they later released. The event, Tar Heels Forever, was hosted by the UNC Student Alumni Association and was held on what would have been Eve Carson's 28th birthday. Family and friends gave speeches on the front steps of the planetarium to share their favorite memories of their loved ones. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.